The new coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, also known as COVID-19, leading to a worldwide pandemic, has led to a phenomenon of vaccines. Joining us today, Dr. Kane with his expertise to help the general public understand COVID-19, what is a vaccine, and why you should get vaccinated. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Kane.
Thank you for having me today.
Dr. Kane, can you please explain what COVID-19 is and how and why it became a worldwide pandemic?
Coronavirus disease, also known as COVID-19, is an infectious disease caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. COVID-19 is a genetic material that is surrounded by a liquid membrane with protein spikes on it. It originated in Wuhan, China. Certain viruses can circulate in a range of animals. Sometimes those viruses can cross over to the human race, which is also known as a spillover. In December 2019, in Wuhan, China, is when a spillover occurred. Other experts say the virus most likely originated from a bat that carried the COVID-19 disease. Some early signs of COVID-19 can be similar to pneumonia, which in this case most people who were becoming ill seem to have been working or visited a seafood and live animal market, thus making it more likely that a human came in contact with this said bat.
It's been a little over 2 years, and to this date, we are still seeing cases of COVID-19. How can we as a population fight this pandemic? As the COVID-19 vaccines have been developed, we have seen an increase in anti-vaxxers. Can you please go into detail on what a vaccine is and a brief history of vaccinations and how they originated? Now that you have explained what vaccines are and given us a brief history of vaccines, can you now specifically explain what COVID-19 vaccines are doing?
Well, same as any other vaccine, COVID-19 guides our immune system to acknowledge, recognize, apprehend, and learn to fight the virus that causes COVID-19. The vaccine introduces the antibodies into the system so that when the actual virus is introduced into the body system, the body will recognize it as a threat and help prevent the body from getting sick. An mRNA vaccine is a type of vaccine that uses a replica of molecules known as messenger RNA to form a reaction from the immune system. Most vaccines use a weakened or inactive gram, but a mRNA vaccine is a creation made in a lab. mRNA vaccines allow our body, once injected into the upper muscular portion of the arm, to learn how to self-replicate these proteins and do not belong and jumpstart the immune response system to engage. We must get vaccinated to, to introduce the body to this virus at a moderate rate to help increase the recognition. So when the body does get the virus and its mutated compounds, it will have a defense line as the boosters will help too.
Many people argue that this COVID-19 vaccine can alter their DNA. Can you please explain how this is in fact not true? We also hear many people say that COVID-19 vaccines will give a person COVID. Do they or do they not?
No. The COVID-19 vaccine does not have the actual virus, more of a replica or a version of mRNA to help teach our body to recognize what COVID-19 looks like. Once the immune system makes a harmless protein that is unique to the virus, it then destroys the genetic material in the vaccine. When our body is exposed to the actual live virus, it already has the proper defense mechanism to fight the virus. This is also why boosters are important. It gives our immune system an added layer or blueprint to increase the protection and to recognize different versions of strands that may be out there that are a close relation to the COVID-19 strand. This is not true. Even if you've been exposed to COVID-19 and recovered from it, you still need to get the vaccination. This allows the body to have a foundation in which to start from, so when it is time for your body to get the booster or other vaccine similar to it, your body will be ready if new versions of the virus arises. When you are exposed to the actual virus, it is hard to determine which actual version of the virus is present. This is why you must wait at least a minimum of 3 months, sometimes longer, before getting the vaccine, as to not overwhelm the body with too many different viruses or infections which may cause the body to break down. This is why the allocated time is insisted to allow a full recovery for your body.